Have you ever found yourself trapped in a silent war within your own mind? I have too. For years, I was my own worst enemy, sabotaging my dreams, feeding doubts, and believing lies I had created myself. Hello, I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to share something deeply personal with you. It's a journey that took me over 25 years, a journey of battling destructive thoughts that haunted me for more than 2 decades, and how I slowly, painfully, but ultimately triumphantly, began to overcome them. You see, from a young age, I felt different, not in the way that makes you stand out positively, but in a way that made me feel isolated, misunderstood, and somehow wrong. These feelings weren't just fleeting moments of insecurity. They were the foundation upon which I built my entire self-image. I remember vividly the first time I realized how deeply these thoughts had taken root. I was 12 years old, standing in front of my bedroom mirror, tears streaming down my face as I repeated to myself, "You're not good enough. You'll never be good enough." It wasn't just the words that hurt. It was the absolute certainty with which I believed them. As I grew older, these thoughts evolved, becoming more sophisticated in their cruelty. They whispered to me in quiet moments, screamed at me during my failures, and even tainted my successes. With doubt, "You don't deserve this," they'd say when something good happened. "It's only a matter of time before everyone realizes you're a fraud." This isn't a video about magic formulas or quick fixes. It's about awareness, pain, and the slow, often agonizing process of freedom. It's about the courage it takes to rebuild yourself from the inside out when everything you've known about yourself is built on a foundation of lies. For years, I tried to outrun these thoughts. I achieved academically, thinking that if I could just be smart enough, the voice would quiet down. I pursued relationships, hoping that if someone could love me, I could learn to love myself. I traveled the world, believing that if I could just find the right place, I'd finally feel at home in my own skin. But here's the thing about running from yourself. No matter how far you go, you always catch up. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom at 35 that I realized the futility of my efforts. I had everything society told me I should want: a successful career, a long-term relationship, a beautiful home. And yet, I felt more empty and lost than ever. The voice in my head had grown so loud that it drowned out everything else. That was the moment I knew something had to change. Not my circumstances, but me, the real me, buried beneath years of self-doubt and negative self-talk. I started small. Each morning, I'd look in the mirror, just like I did at 12. But instead of repeating those hurtful words, I'd simply say, "I see you." At first, it felt ridiculous, even painful. But slowly, day by day, it became easier. Sometimes, on particularly hard days, those 3 words were all I could manage, but they were enough. From there, I began to question the thoughts that had ruled me for so long. Where did they come from? Were they really true? Or were they just stories I'd been telling myself for so long that I'd forgotten they weren't facts? This process of questioning wasn't easy. It meant facing painful memories, confronting fears I'd long buried, and challenging beliefs that, while destructive, had become comfortingly familiar. There were days when I wanted nothing more than to retreat back into the safety of my old thought patterns, but I pushed forward, one small step at a time. I sought help, professional help, yes, but also the help of friends who saw in me what I couldn't see in myself. I learned to be vulnerable, to share my struggles instead of hiding them behind a mask of perfection. And in doing so, I discovered that I wasn't alone. So many of us are fighting these silent battles, believing we're the only ones. As I began to heal, I noticed changes. They were subtle at first, a moment of genuine laughter without the immediate intrusion of self-doubt, a compliment accepted without deflection, a mistake made without spiraling into self-hatred. These small victories gave me hope, fueling my determination to continue this journey of self-discovery and healing. But let me be clear, this isn't a story with a neat, happy ending. The work of overcoming destructive thoughts is ongoing. Even now, years into this journey, I have days where the old voices creep back in. The difference is that now I recognize them for what they are: echoes of old pain, not truths about who I am. What I've learned is that overcoming destructive thoughts isn't about silencing them completely. It's about changing your relationship with them. It's about developing the strength to say, "I hear you, but I don't believe you anymore." This journey has taught me the power of self-compassion. For years, I believed that being hard on myself was the key to improvement. I thought that if I criticized myself enough, I'd somehow become better. But all it did was keep me trapped in a cycle of self-destructs. Learning to be kind to myself, to treat myself with the same compassion I'd offer a friend, was perhaps the most challenging and transformative part of this process. It felt unnatural at first, almost wrong, but with practice, it became a source of strength, a refuge in difficult times. I've also learned the importance of mindfulness, of being present in the moment, rather than constantly rehashing the past or worrying about the future. So much of my destructive thinking was rooted in regret over things I couldn't change, or anxiety about things that hadn't happened yet. Learning to ground myself in the present moment has been a powerful tool in breaking free from these thought patterns. Another crucial aspect of my journey has been redefining my relationship with failure. For so long, I saw failure as proof of my inadequacy, as confirmation of all my worst fears about myself. But I've come to understand that failure is not only inevitable, but essential for growth. Each failure, each setback, is an opportunity to learn, to become stronger, to prove to myself that I can fall and still get back up. This shift in perspective has allowed me to take risks I never would have dared before. It's opened up new possibilities, new ways of being in the world. I'm no longer paralyzed by the fear of not being perfect. As I reflect on this journey, a journey that spanned more than half my life, I'm filled with a mix of emotions. There's sadness for the years lost to self-doubt and fear. There's anger at the societal pressures and childhood experiences that planted the seeds of these destructive thoughts. But mostly, there's gratitude. Gratitude for the strength I didn't know I had, for the people who supported me along the way, and for the person I'm becoming. I share this story not because it's unique, but because I know it isn't. If you're watching this and recognizing yourself in my words, know that you're not alone. The battle against destructive thoughts can feel isolating, but there are so many of us fighting it alongside you. Remember, healing isn't linear. It's a messy, complicated process full of setbacks and unexpected breakthroughs. Be patient with yourself, celebrate the small victories, and most importantly, don't give up. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The choice, ultimately, is yours. It won't be easy. It might be the hardest thing you ever do, but I promise you, it's worth it. You're worth it. As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with a thought that has become my mantra. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. In that awareness lies your power, your freedom, and your true self. If you've ever felt like you're fighting against your own mind, this video is for you. Know that change is possible. It might take time. It might take 25 years, like it did for me, but it's possible, and you don't have to do it alone. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope that in sharing my journey, I've helped you feel less alone in yours. Remember, the fact that you're here, listening, seeking understanding and growth is already a powerful step forward. Keep going. Your future self will thank you for the battles you're fighting today. Until next time, be kind to yourself. You're doing better than you think.